This is an overview of how to do your parking lot. So the first thing I would like you to do is go to your site plan, and then I recommend hiding your grass and hiding category on your elevation markers. And then if you have a roof that you can see, hide category on your roof as well. You want to be able to highlight your walls and click on them. Once you do that, I recommend being in hidden line, but if you want to go back and forth as you create things to see materials, you can, but hidden line will allow you to see peak lines. So we're going to go to massing and site topo solid, and we are going to create a mulch topo solid because we don't have one. And I'm going to go to edit type, duplicate and rename, and make my wall mulch material. So I'm going to create a new material, name it mulch, and then go and find my mulch. You have 4 options for your mulch, and they are black, brown, brown mix, and red. I'm going to load in the brown and hit OK. Now I'm ready to make my mulch. My mulch has to be a bare minimum at the front of my building and 3 feet out from it. So I'm going to use my pick wall tool to pick the edge. This is where my front door is. So I'm just going to have my mulch kind of stop there and my sidewalk lead into my front door. I'm also going to do some mulch on the side here. And then I don't have any parking over here. So I'm going to do a larger kind of mulch landscape bed. I'm going to choose to not do it in the back. Again, bare minimum, you just have to do it in the front. Then I'm going to use my offset tool and I'm going to offset this 3 feet so that I roughly know where that placement is. On one side of my building, I'm going to do curvy mulch. On the other side, I'm going to keep it straight. It is up to you what you decide to do for your structure. So now over here, I'm going to just do a straight design. So just 3 feet of mulch. I have to make this one complete shape. So I'm going to back this up. So this side is done. This side though, I'm going to do a spline tool. So I'm going to kind of go out from this area, and I like having my 3-foot marker because it just helps me know how big I can have my mulch. And then over here, because I'm not going to have any parking, I'm going to make a much larger landscape. Now I can delete these inner lines. I no longer need. And now I have my mulch area. So when I go to realistic, you can see now that I have mulch. The next step is to do 5 feet of sidewalk. So I'm going to go to back to hidden line, topo solid, and I'm going to use pick line tool. So I pick my lines to do my sidewalk. It is going to go along my building and along this mulch area. Now I'm going to offset this out 5 feet. And this kind of gives me a nice starting point of where I need to be. All right, so I plan on having my parking spots right up against here and here. So I need this area to be straight, and I'm going to have some parking spots along here as well. So here I'm already straight, so I'm good to go. So I'm just going to kind of continue this shape. But over here, I don't want my parking spots to like jut in from my building. So I'm actually going to drag this out to this point. And then I'm going to kind of continue this down. And something to note about spline tools, if you can't just trim them, so you would have to remake them if need be. But I'm going to have parking spots here, so I'm actually going to straighten out my sidewalk. So I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to kind of straighten out my sidewalk here and make this endpoint. And so now that I can't trim this spline, that's where I'm going to make a new spline, kind of going right over my old one. And then I can kind of edit it to make it match what I have. And I'll show you that here. So now I can kind of click on these and make it line up better with what I already have. Okay, but for time's sake, I'm just going to say it's pretty close. And I'll delete my old spline. So now I have my sidewalk area. Oops. If you ever have issues, you have to zoom in and figure out what those issues are. I do want to show you how to use the corner tool. So here's my corner tool, and I can click on this to make a corner. And then this, I'm just going to extend this up a little bit. And again, for sake of time, I'm just kind of simplifying it. Now, if I go to my realistic view, you can kind of see what I have here. Pretend that this lines up. I'm going to make this concrete, so you're going to change it to be concrete. And that's my sidewalk. Now I can start loading in my parking spaces. So I'm going to go to Architecture tab, Component, Load Family. And I'm going to go to my Imperial Library, site, parking, and I'm going to load in Parking Island 1, ADA, and ADA. And hit open. And now I'm going to start with my ADA spots. So in T100, it tells you how many ADA spots you need. Those should be closest to your front door. I'm going to hover over my sidewalk and hit spacebar, and I'm going to place one in. Once I do that, I can then go to my copy tool and copy them over. And then let's say I want to kind of now move them all so it lines up with that edge. I can use my move tool. Then I'm going to load in my other standard types of parking spots. Hover, hit my space bar, and then do the same thing. Use my copying tool over and over and over. So this is kind of your starting point of where you'll kind of start. The next video is going to show you how to do parking islands and kind of copy and paste and mirror and group parking spots to do the rest of your parking structure.